welcome to another episode of Spiritually Awkward. Some woo-woo, mostly wisdom. I'm Kaylee,
I'm Danielle.
and today we are going to be talking about vibrations and frequencies. When we hear these terms, we're like, oh, okay, some more woo-woo shit. Um, but like, what the hell are people talking about? What is the big deal about vibrations and frequencies, and why is everybody screaming at the top of their lungs about it?
Yeah, like why is it such a big, important thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can give a little definition of what vibration means. Essentially, when we think of it like scientifically, it's like something's oscillating or quivering and creating like a trembling sense of motion. But spiritually, vibration has also been described as like a characteristic emanation, like, or someone's aura or spirit, like, is infusing them, and you can like sense it, or it's something you can actually feel within yourself of something else, or you're emanating from yourself as well. So like can't you think of a time that you've maybe felt someone's energy and you didn't really understand what you were feeling, but you were like, I don't want to be in this room right now. I don't want to be around this person or whatever that is. That could be potentially someone's vibration.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then like what's frequencies? I don't know, like how would you compare what frequencies are in difference to vibration? Like,
So frequencies are the rate in which the vibration is happening. So
mhm.
you've got a vibration that is like a very low rumbling, and you speed that up. So that's the frequency of the
Oh,
oscillation.
okay. The sound wave. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, or the wave, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, so you can look at it as either a material having like a sound wave or electromagnetic field as well, different waves, like waves of light and radio waves and all those kinds of things. So scientifically, it is measurable. It
Mhm.
is something that we can copy, recreate, analyze. It's not just like, oh, we're just feeling things, the vibe. It's not just that. It's more specific to that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just no thoughts, just vibes. Mhm.
No, that's just vibes. So like we've all seen the experiment where they put that the sand on the sheet metal, and then they have a speaker underneath of it, and then they
Yeah.
emit a frequency, a sound, and they observe the designs that is created with that specific frequency, and you can watch it as they go through the different frequencies, how that changes where the spatial placement of the sand
Yeah.
to one another. So this essentially is exactly what the human cells do, because all
Right.
matter is made up of these vibrations and frequencies. That's how we essentially hold solid things together, is that vibration. How fast are they vibrating? How much are they vibrating?
Mhm.
And every single human being has their own unique signature vibration and frequency. This is measurable by science. Take that. Um, so like if we
Yeah.
think of like human beings as bees, right? Bees have a really complex society, and the way that they communicate is observable to us. So like bees communicate by making specific vibrations and tones that communicate things like the need for defense of the hive, or if there is a source of food. Um, and this helps bees in a hive behave synchronistically and in unison. So I don't know if anybody has ever heard of the waggle dance for bees, but if
Cute.
you have a chance to Google that, please do, because it is adorable. But they
Yeah.
do this to communicate,
Be cute.
like the vibration of their wings, or the sound that their abdomen makes when they're shaking it tells the other bees where the source of food is, or how far the source of food is, depending on how long they do it. So it's it's really cool to observe like how the bee communicates, and that we can actually read that now.
Hmm.
This was discovered in like 1940s, so we've known
Wow.
about this for a long time. Um, it's just really interesting to me. I love bees. I
Yeah.
love bees. And ants are kind of the same way too. They kind
Yeah.
of communicate the same way. Um,
I feel like we could
but
learn a
like,
lot from bees, like
oh yeah,
from nature. Like if we just observed more of what nature does and how it like succeeds, us humans could actually learn a lot. And it might sound a little woo-woo and spiritual, but realistically, they know how to survive.
yeah,
We could learn to be more in tune with ourselves and our and people around us instead of being so distracted.
exactly. And if we're talking too, like how animals communicate, let's take for instance the elephant, right?
Mhm.
They'll emit noises that human beings cannot hear, but can be
Mm.
heard for like miles and miles.
Wow,
So like
that's
their
cool.
frequency, yeah. So animals have figured this out and have been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like we've just connected it to like that's bullshit. It's not. It's a
Yeah.
literal like biology
Hmm.
and human or
Yeah.
animal
Yeah.
instinctuality. Like they just know.
Yeah.
That was probably the wrong term for that, but we're gonna go with it.
It's all
We get
good.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like even talking a bit about like the fact that Earth has its own frequency. So there's a Schumann resonance, right? Which is essentially the measurable frequency of the Earth. And they have what would you call that? Like sensors all around the Earth to determine the frequency at any given time. And then you can
Mm,
actually go online and
yeah.
like see the chart of it like changing. And it has been changing quite a bit in the last few years. Like there will
Yeah.
be spikes and some really crazy, interesting things. So if we are in tune with the Earth as human beings, we have to be because we are constantly on the Earth. We touch the Earth. Like it can affect us. And there's just so much to learn there that like we shouldn't really turn a blind eye to it. I think it's really important.
Or turn up our nose to the
Yeah.
idea. Like
How does it hurt to know?
we live within the Earth's
Yeah.
magnetosphere.
Yeah.
Why would it not like why
Hmm.
would we not be able
Yeah.
to observe that
Hmm.
either as a feeling or a sound?
Yeah.
So I've noticed that when there are these
Oh.
spikes, right?
Hmm.
My brain will like wig out.
These spikes
It's
in
kind of the same.
The Schumann
Yeah.
resonance. Yeah.
Yeah, like I can like I'll get like this high pitch in my
Hmm.
ears and
Hmm.
like my skull. Like they I
I
sound
should start
crazy.
writing them down because I get a few a day. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder, I should like start writing down the times and then go and check the Schumann because it's probably
Yeah,
being
I
affected.
do. I'm
Oh,
okay.
cool.
Truth be told, I have two Schumann resonance apps on my phone.
No, share them with me.
Because like
Okay.
when I'm like, am I going crazy? Is this tinnitus?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? I check the Schumann resonance and sure as shit it lines up with that. So am I
Wow.
picking up the vibrations of the so the Schumann
Hmm.
resonance is the Earth's heartbeat. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you might have already said that, but my
No.
brain was okay.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, it's the heart's earth beat is what they're calling it. So it's the
Earth's
measurement of
heartbeat.
the Earth's heartbeat.
Okay. Yeah.
So the Schumann resonance like is really interesting. The fact that it's observable and people are still like,
It's just
that's not
easier
real.
not
Right,
to look into the things.
right. But we have to think about too, like
Hmm.
we've done studies on how birds navigate, right? They've been somewhere once in their entire life and they know how to get there every single time. They directionally know where they are. We use compasses based on the Earth's
Yeah.
magnetosphere.
Hmm.
So, like, why would we think that our brains were not also evolved or developed to also
Yeah.
pick that up?
Yeah. So birds are picking up the vibrational like differences in the earth and like potentially
Right.
okay,
And
that's
you'll
pretty
see,
cool.
like, too, before like big catastrophic natural disasters, right? The animals start booking it,
Hmm.
like GTFO, because they can read that is coming. And
Yeah.
so the Schumann resonance also is an indicator of like storms. So not only like solar rays, and things happening outside of our planet, but like also what's happening on inside our atmosphere.
Right.
So it's bouncing off and then coming back. And we're picking that up. So it's natural disasters can like start being predicted this way if we really wanted to. Or we
Right.
just like we'll be able to know more once we really get into it.
Yeah.
And
We need to
I'm sure they
actually
have.
study more. Maybe.
I mean, we could
Mhm.
go into conspiracy theories like HARP, but I won't.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But like you were saying too. So we're gonna scale down, go to the human body. But like when you're saying like, oop, the vibe's off, like we've all been around people and without even speaking to them, we're like, yeah, this is a good person. This makes me feel calm. This makes me feel okay. And then we've been around people that are like, I need to get the fuck away from this person as fast as possible. I do not like what I'm feeling.
The ick
It
is
makes us
there.
uneasy. And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
when we're talking about like the vibes are off, they are off, my dude. You're picking that up.
Yeah.
There's a
Don't like
reason.
discount yourself.
Yeah, there's a reason that you're feeling that way. And regardless if everybody else is like, this is such a wonderful person. And you're like,
It doesn't mean they're inherently bad. It just means they're
no.
not good for you too, potentially.
Yeah. Yes.
Or they're bad, but like,
Or yeah, or they're bad. Um,
serial killer vibes.
so this is like one of the
Uh,
reasons they're thinking that we can instinctively sense danger.
yeah.
This is like not only do we have that subtle feeling that we're picking up from the energetic signature of that human being or that place or the thing. And this also ties in with our empathic tendencies.
Hmm.
And I think that the more sensitive people are to these, like the bigger the connection to like ourselves and our awareness of like everything else around us is how we are able to literally read the room.
Yeah. Well,
Read.
yeah, like we're gonna actually consider ourselves more than just a human being. Like if we're gonna really talk about it, if we are an energetic being currently embodying a human body. So like if we're the body is actually a vehicle, but we're not the body. We are in the body, right? That like we are energy itself, so we could become more in tune with that energy consciously while we live this existence. And we can start to see that everything is energy, and we can start to read the energy, like so we can do it intuitively, subconsciously, when you're feeling like these intuitive hits of like, I don't know, this doesn't feel right for me. There's something off about the situation, this person, whatever that is. You could actually get more in tune with that and start to realize like everything has its own energy.
Yeah, which is really cool. And
Mm.
this, so if we're thinking about like, and this brings us back to our quantum entanglement from the episodes about manifestation. So just checking
Yeah.
to see if you guys are paying attention. Um, but if we think of everything as like a blanket, and everyone and everything is a wrinkle in that blanket. If the blanket gets tugged, we're gonna feel it. We're gonna pick that up. We're gonna pick up the movement, the change, the difference, the
Right.
disturbance in the force. Unless you're dead asleep, then you won't. So get woke. but
Wake up
but
spiritually. No.
yeah, yeah. Get woke, noobs. But it's like we've been saying like this is observable by science. Like legitimate science is being based off of sound and vibration. So like they have noticed that everything observable to us is vibration and frequency. Because if we
Mhm.
didn't have that frequency or that vibration, right? We aren't solid.
Yeah.
I mean, technically we aren't solid, but because of the the attraction of the okay, I'm not a scientist, but I'm gonna try. because like when the cells vibrate at a certain point, it creates like they start to stick together, right? Then that creates solid. So like my cup is now solid because of how these atoms and the electrons and the protons are
Form
attracting
together.
to each other.
Right.
That creates a solid. This is observable. We can see this.
Mm-hmm.
So um we did find like a really cool study. I'm
Yeah.
gonna let Danielle tell you about it. We'll link it in the description below so that you can read
Yeah.
it too. I think it is like really fascinating.
Yeah. Essentially, it was like a bit of an article just talking a bit about a study. So we didn't get too technical in like how it all works. So we're not trying to like, you know, give you all the details, but essentially, um, this Stanford medicine study was giving the implications of sound and healing, like how it can be used to match specific cells. So essentially, they took the frequency that like a heart cells emitted, and they were able to mimic them and reproduce heart cells and make sure that they acted and functioned the same way that the cells in our heart do for cardiovascular function. So it was really interesting to see, like, this was in 2018, I think, too. So I'm curious actually to continue looking into how much further this might have already come. But like, imagine that. Imagine you could use sound and create vibration and frequency to mimic the exact way in which a certain cell of an organ or a certain cell of an animal, like anything, create it and then like potentially heal that thing. So again, this is like not specifically what they were talking about in their science, but it just made us think like, imagine what could be done if this continues to be developed. And I'm sure we are primitive as human beings compared to what's out there in the universe, but like that's exciting for us. I know it's probably not new for other civilizations in the universe, maybe.
Right.
But
That kind of makes me start thinking
yeah.
like, okay, so we're doing that. So how? So like I'm curious to see. I know that like for whatever reason you stand on stem cells, but like is that how stem cells are programmed? Is it the vibration of the cells around it that tell it what it needs to be?
Mhm.
I need to look that up. I don't know how I don't
Yeah.
know that,
Yeah.
but I know like in the United
Interesting.
States it's illegal to do any kind of stem cell research because it gets into the gray area and I'm not going to go into that, but like
Interesting.
I'm curious to see because we have stem cells in all parts of our body.
Yeah, are they there to like just be like, okay, we're mimicking? Are we mimicking
Yeah,
what we need to do here? Do they just
like
create themselves?
yeah. So
Pretty
basically
sure.
it's a blank cell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like when we were okay, this is going to age us, but when we were burning CDs, right?
Yes. Sorry for all of you guys that don't know what that means.
When we were
Look
yeah,
it
when
up.
we were burning CDs, right? It's a blank CD. You can put whatever you want on it. You can
Yeah.
put pictures, you can put music, you can put movies. So whatever you want on this CD, it's blank. So how? How do we do that? The stem cell is the same thing. It's a blank disc that
Yeah.
then you tell it what you need it to be.
A blank
So if you
block.
need it to be like we'll say you broke your arm, right?
Yeah.
We need to grow new, I think bones. I'm just gonna say bones. We're gonna say bone because
Bone
I cannot
cells to
remember.
merge.
Osteophages.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea. Um,
Yeah.
but
That's
the body
me.
will say, okay, these stem cells are condensed in like our teeth and our bone marrow.
Yeah.
So we our body then instinctively tells it, okay, we need to mend this broken bone, so we're gonna do that. Or like we need to regenerate parts of our liver or whatever. So we're sending the stem cells to that
Hmm.
area and then the body itself
Yeah.
is programming it to then recreate more cells. Like that's how we
Hmm.
constantly regenerate
Yeah.
is using these stem cells.
This is
So I'm
reminding me of
curious.
skincare stuff, actually.
Yeah.
stem cells in skincare.
Actually,
So,
yeah, I found
mhm.
out that in skincare they've been using plant stem cells, which is interesting.
They've been using more than just plant stem cells.
Oh, I mean, yes. Yes.
One of the brands we used in my Medi Spa days like had the origination of the stem cells that they learned how to replicate from that origination was, I believe, from like, if I'm not mistaken, it was circumcision
Yeah, foreskin.
cells. Yeah, okay.
It was foreskin
I believe so.
and I
I'm
remember
like,
that
what?
very well because there were so many skits on it when it came out that Oprah was like
Mhm.
using a skincare line that did
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But anyways,
Um,
like just
yeah,
goes to
yeah,
show if nature's
yeah,
doing it, wow, like there's a potential for us to learn how to mimic that.
right. We do it naturally every day in our bodies.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so when we're talking about like frequencies and vibrations, like being able to heal the body, like it stands to reason.
Hmm.
There's been so many cultures out there that have done this
Yeah.
already, like drum circles or like music or chanting. It's it's
Yeah.
all the same thing. So
Hmm.
it was like it can be traced back to like ancient China, Tibet, India, um, Latin America, Africa, parts of Europe. So um in these cultures, like sound was used for like ceremonies and ways to heal
Yeah.
in various ways, physical, mental, emotional.
It's like, how
It's
did they
all
learn this, right?
right. Like
It's,
how did
hmm,
they, I mean, if
maybe
we're thinking,
aliens are real.
yeah, hmm,
Hmm. That'll
hmm.
be our next topic. Aliens.
Yes.
And it's most
That's
likely true that our ancient cultures were shown these things from other civilizations or future us, potentially, if
yeah,
we come
there's
back.
still that
Hmm.
conspiracy theories slash
Hmm. Who
whatever.
knows? Who knows? Just keep your mind
But
open is all we want.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, and then how how do you think like that is a crazy thing to think of. Like how did they know?
Yeah.
How did they know? Like if we think about us being now, we're like, oh, we have like cars and planes and we
Yeah.
can shoot things into space, which
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
really planes, trains, and automobiles. Um,
Yeah.
but like back in ancient history, like I, I feel like it's safe to say that they were more in tune with themselves and the
Mhm.
earth than we are now because we've developed technology in like essentially to replace
Yeah.
the need for that like awareness.
And like it may be more efficient, but is it as healthy as it should be? Do we not gain healing from working the earth? Like there's things to be said about being more connected to ourselves and our environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think technology has a great place. However, maybe some things have taken it a little too far.
Yeah. And like there are
Yeah.
some people who are like really for science and all about science, forget the woo-woo shit. And there are some people that are woo-woo shit, forget about science. It's the middle ground that I think
Yeah.
we're completely glossing over is like
Yeah.
how do we
There's a place for both.
as a like intellectual being, right,
Hmm.
bridge that gap
Yeah.
between the woo-woo and science. And well, okay, we're not even gonna call it woo-woo. We're gonna call it natural state of being.
Yeah, honestly.
And the natural state of being and science. So to bring those together, right, is really important, and to show people that it doesn't have to be one way or the other. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be all about science and facts, because science is still developing. We are still finding out that some of the theories that have been proposed are not correct at all, or to some degree not correct.
Yeah.
We're still
It's
building upon it. Science
constant.
is all a theory
Hmm.
until proven,
Yeah.
right? Like we still,
Hmm.
it's not finite. Like it's not,
Yeah.
if a scientist says it's 100% correct, because there might not be an angle that that scientist had looked at, which would give us a deeper understanding of it.
I feel
So
like in reality, they both end up pointing to the same thing, right?
yeah,
Like when science becomes proven and true, it usually matches up with what spiritualists and naturalists have been talking about in one way or another. Like like the quantum entanglement theory and manifestation, right? So it's, I think honestly, it will all make sense in the end once things become revealed. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. So there was a quote online that I found. It says from Dr. Lin, so I'm not exactly sure, but intuitively, I think most people understand that emotion has energy to it. And when you're upset or stressed, your body feels denser, heavier, or cold, or lower in vibration. And then when you're happy, joyful, your body feels lighter, brighter, warmer, or higher in vibration. So this is just kind of a way of explaining what vibration means within yourself, and how, like, when we say the words, oh, you're lower vibration or higher vibration, it can also just mean like where you're currently sitting in your emotions, in your body state. And it's like it's a way to tell you, for you to tell yourself and for you to explain to others. It's just like another term of phrase, right? But it can also have a high impact on your body's health. To be
Mhm.
in a lower vibrational state is like can have something to do with your thought patterns, and also like what your body is feeling because of those thought patterns and where you're deciding to sit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because your brain is essentially like the, I want to say like way station or train station, right? Like so
Mhm. Yeah.
your brain is capable of feeling and observing, right? So
Hmm.
the whole nervous system itself, and it's electrical impulses, but it's caused by chemicals. So if you are in like a shit mood, everything is shit, this is shit, that's shit, you're going to feel like shit,
Hmm.
because that is currently what your brain is
Yeah.
pumping out. Like you're telling your brain that this is shit.
Yeah.
So it's going to start behaving as if things are
And
shit.
it's gonna
And you're
give
going
you
to
more
start
shit.
feeling that emotionally and
Oh,
physically.
yeah. You're actually creating more of it by being in that.
Exactly. Exactly. Like
Brings us back
it's,
to manifestation.
yeah, it's where you're at. So when they say like raise your vibrations, they're literally just thinking be fucking positive.
Yeah. And not like fake
Stop.
positive, but like find things that make you feel good.
Yes.
Hmm.
And it's not even to, there was a, I don't remember what I was watching. But it was talking about like in on a quantum level, right? So it's not like you, so we will swing either way, because the universe is always trying to balance. We will swing either way. So we'll be like really happy, like euphorically happy about something, and then we'll swing back over to the this shit sucks.
Hmm.
And then we'll swing back over to the thing. So like to get the swing to be smaller and less aggressive when you
Yeah.
swing back over into the side that we don't like,
Yeah.
is the difference between I'm going to seek out something to make me happy.
Hmm. And I'm not going to give
I'm
energy. like to the negative thoughts or the
Right.
emotions that aren't good.
But the difference between like I'm going to seek out happiness. I'm going to go to like go travel and see all the kinds of things. And that's going to make me happy. So instead of seeking out things to make you happy, it's finding the joy in what you already have in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you want to stay in that state of balance,
Mm.
right? So even if you are having that assholish of a time, right? If your boss is being a dickhead, your friends have like ditched you, find the joy. So if your boss is being a dickhead, be like, you know what? Today just sucks. I'm going to be honest, today just sucks, but at least I have a job.
Yeah. At least I
I'm
have
going to have my
myself.
bills paid. That's a joy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the small wins. The
Yeah.
joys equal wins,
Yeah.
right? It's the silver lining. And like if you're like, oh, my friends ditched me. They canceled plans. And I was really looking forward to going to that. But like, okay, now I get to stay home and I get to take a salt bath.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I wasn't supposed to go. It's fine,
Yeah.
right? It's finding
Surrendering.
that, yeah, it's finding that joy. So like you
Mm-hmm.
being like, I really wanted to go to that because it was gonna make me happy, that would cause the swing back to balance out.
Yeah.
But if it's that like, it is what it is,
Yep.
but now I get to find something to do. So, like for instance, on something like that, I recently traveled to Japan to visit a family member. Things did not go well. So I ended up going out on my own and doing something. And I was like, I'm not gonna let this ruin my time. I'm in Japan, dude.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Like, I'm gonna do me,
Yeah.
right? And I found the joy in the little things.
Yeah.
Like, it sucked that like things had like caved in for me, but at the same time, there was a lesson to be learned. I found out how strong I was
Yeah.
and how I could do things. And I found things that brought me joy. So, like, it wasn't a waste. So,
Yeah.
it's these things where you're like, the joy is like, finding joy is the ultimate goal because that sets you at a higher vibration in your
Yeah.
brain, right? It's not like a short-lived happiness that will then swing back dramatically to, wow, this shit sucks. It's that whatever point I am at, I'm going to find something good about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part of like setting your brain up for that higher frequency.
Yeah. This
And
is how
sometimes,
you raise your vibration.
yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes is it hard to find the joy in things? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to rage and throw things, and that's fine. Do that. Do that for a minute and then be
Yeah.
like, okay, what did I learn?
Yeah. Did it really make you feel better
Right. Like
or make you feel shittier? And then like,
sit in
mhm.
that anger and then find
Yeah.
out why. Why am I so mad about this?
Yeah. What's triggered me?
Right.
What needs
And
to heal here?
yeah, and then how can I move forward
Yeah.
from this? What did I learn and how can I move forward?
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally.
that was my little soapbox about that.
Yeah.
But that's how you change the frequency that your brain is putting out. It's how you if you think
Yeah.
about it in terms of like keeping this level and the swing less dramatic,
Yeah.
you want to sit in your happy place that you have created. You want to sit
Yeah.
in the joy that you have created. And that's
And
the thing that's
be.
been, yeah, that's the thing that's been reoccurring for me
Mhm.
as far as like the messages that I'm getting from
Yeah.
spirit, right? Or my highest self is like just enjoy.
Yeah.
Just enjoy being a human being. And you're like sitting in a moment where you're pissed at the world, right? Or you're you're frustrated, you're like, shut the hell up. Don't
It's
tell
like,
me. And
it's
it's
true though.
but that's part of it. It's the feeling those emotions and working through
Yeah.
those creates the balance.
Yeah.
Because emotions are a form of energy.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, they are a form of energy, and those can be felt by others. And it
Hmm.
has a much more profound effect on the things around us than we think it does.
Definitely. If you can feel others, they can feel you.
Yeah. Because when I was a kid, I used to explain, like, ooh, that person feels spiky.
Yeah.
Because to me, I felt that the vibration, like the spike, right? It felt
Mm,
spiky to me. And it
interesting.
wasn't because like they were like porcupine, it was because their energy felt like spikes, right? And if somebody is happy, it's kind of more like a wave. That I was a weird
Mm.
kid. That's fine.
No,
But
makes
it is
sense.
the emotions about somebody or surrounding somebody can be felt by others. And I think that we discredit that as like how powerful our emotions can be. And I'm not like telling anybody to master their emotions because emotions are a huge learning tool for us in this human
Yeah.
experience. A
Yeah.
huge learning tool.
Yeah.
But
It's more about
being
setting
able
your
to,
focus. Like,
right. And when I so a lot of people are like, oh, never getting into the like the toxic part of like how to deal with your emotions, right? It'd be like just focus on the happy. Just focus on the good
mm,
things.
no,
Because you're gonna
that's
miss.
not what we're saying.
You're gonna miss a whole bunch of things. You're going to then demonize the quote unquote negative emotions. They're
Yeah.
not bad. They're
They're just
there
part of,
to bring us into an awareness, right? You want to sit in those emotions, sit in that energy.
yeah, what's it trying to teach you? Why is it
Exactly.
coming up right now?
Exactly.
Don't create a story around it. Just literally get curious. Interesting. Why is that? Without going like, oh, I'm so stupid that I blah, 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 blah. Like, watch out for that, right? Because that is swinging. Like, instead of just being aware, feel it,
Yeah.
be aware.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's all tied in and it all has to do with frequencies and
yeah.
vibrations.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
energy. It's literally energy. So, um,
That's your homework, guys. Focusing on like, where am I putting my awareness? Am I thinking about this future thing and how I'm going to be happy when the XYZ happens? Or am I like, oh man, every day just a little moment of like, I'm grateful for this in my life today. And I'm grateful to be in this moment, alive with whatever it is like you have. That can help raise your vibration and make you feel
yeah,
better, just all around, make your body feel better, lighter, less heavy, less, yeah, all those things.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I was I was asking this question of spirit the other day. I was like, okay, so like we're trying to find the joy in life. And everything is transactional, but not like
Find,
transactional is like I have to pay for joy. It's the universe will give you the gift of joy. You have to find it, you have to unbury it, you have to sometimes it's laying underneath the rubble of once stood your perfect life, right? But you have
right.
to dig and
Hmm.
find the joy. So how do you reciprocate that transaction, right? How do you finish that transaction? Gratitude.
Hmm.
Gratitude is the way to say thank you.
Yeah. When you're saying thank you, you get more.
Yeah, it creates that cycle. It creates that like repetition, or like because it's starting the wheel to turn,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, joy is the gift, gratitude is the payment.
Ooh, I like that. It's a good quote.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put it on a shirt now.
It's it's like it's making me think of two like moments where when I chose to be in gratitude and just like I know things will just work out, like more things come to me that I've been wanting without needing to pay monetarily like I thought I had to. Like
Hmm.
this is back a little bit to manifestation, but it kind of all links up. Like when you're in that vibration of gratitude, you are receiving more. Um,
It's like a
you know?
supercharge.
Yeah, it's true.
And some people, okay, so here's my thing, right? I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to show gratitude, right? The universe is patient.
Yeah.
Once you come to the conclusion that like, oh, that was a gift. All right. I'm happy about that gift. Thank you. It doesn't matter if it's like 2 weeks, a month. It's when you get it.
Your $5 lottery ticket.
Yeah.
uh,
But yeah, it's like of course I wanted to win millions. Who doesn't, to be honest? Like,
yeah.
but it's the gratitude that once I like came to that conclusion, like they said I was gonna win the lottery, and I
Hmm.
did.
Yeah.
So I was grateful for that. It's that the different it's choosing to be a different presence in the world
Yeah.
by showing gratitude. I don't even know if that's the best way to say it. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that
It's
makes sense though.
in the space of gratitude, to show up in
Yeah.
the space of gratitude so that you can keep the wheel moving. And then if we're talking about like the effect on others that our energy has, if we are vibing at a higher frequency, we are then putting that out to the world.
Like, I want to be vibrating like that. Other people might actually go, how did she get there? And become more curious.
Right. And
Hmm.
people will just be able to tell,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. I'm definitely
Yeah.
weird as shit, and some people are really grated by me,
Yeah. And that's okay.
and it's okay. It's the
Yeah.
people that are attuned to where I'm at.
Hmm. You're gonna call to you the people that were meant to be like growing or within your field of whatever that is. Like,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself triggered by someone, like there's a good likelihood that that's a lower vibrational piece within yourself that you need to look at and do some healing with. So, there's a reason for everything, which it gets annoying. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not trying to be like, everything's just a learning experience. Like, it's annoying because you're like, fuck yes, I'm seeing what you're trying to say, and I'm not ready to look at that. But thank you, spirit.
Yeah.
Thank you for the trigger.
Yeah. I think it's so to me it feels like it's like we're all wearing these like suits with little magnets in it, right? Like we're just wearing like this like morph suit and it's got little tiny magnets all up in it. And like you meet somebody that's magnet is turned the right way so that it like attracts, right? That is the trigger.
Yeah.
You're seeing whatever that is with them is with you.
Why are you pulling this magnet?
Yeah, and it's showing you. It's
Yeah.
not that this person is inherently bad or this person is a
Mhm.
dick. It's literally showing you where your weak spot is in your suit.
Mm. So take it for what it is instead of
So
getting
take
triggered.
it
Well,
for
you'll
what
get
it is.
triggered, but
It's the silver lining in your
yeah.
suit.
That's really smart. Uh, so some other cool things like examples of things that I would say over the last couple of years have helped me to be more in this energy is literally like things happening in the background that I've chose to put on. So, for example, Solfeggio frequencies. It's essentially a tone of a certain specific hertz, which is an exact sound frequency. And I've played 417 hertz in my spa space and throughout my day, even sometimes when I'm sleeping, I play it out loud. And it's like calming, soothing, like spa music. It's kind of how it sounds because I kind of found one that's like a little more musical. Um, but honestly, like if I was to look back at the way my brain worked and how my body felt and how it's evolved over the last couple years, that's kind of where it started. Like I decided to start listening to frequencies like that instead of playing music all day. And it's just this like peaceful, soothing tone in the background. And I think because I wanted to really let it heal me and I had the intention of that, it has worked wonders on me. So you do have to like somewhat put the intention of like, I really want this to work and I want my energy to match that energy or whatever it is so that my cells can absorb this and elevate or whatever you would call that. So I can kind of go over some of them too. Like, I don't know. Before 17 hertz one is it creates space and momentum for positive change and reconnection to the divine. And like, I didn't even know that going into listening to it. And now looking back, I'm like, well, it fucking worked. Like, holy shit. Like, I didn't even know back then that I had, connection like that, like spiritual gifts or like psychic gifts or all of it. I didn't even realize how empathic I was. And this has like just almost given you like that slight push to keep being curious, keep pushing for information, keep finding your people that aren't going to make you feel weird about it. And then you start like not caring if people feel weird about it in your space, or like to what extent how far to go with things, and you just wait for them to ask you questions. And it's just been really interesting having that specific hertz. So 417 hertz is a really great one for that like momentum for positive change. And then like another one I listened to was 528 hertz, which is known to be like the heart self-love one. I started with that one a little bit first. So like forgiving grievances, releasing fear, making room for miracles and unconditional love, which I thought is really cute.
We love that unconditional love here.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually experiencing it, especially seeing people experiencing it through like hypnosis when they're like, wow, I thought I knew what love was. Just you wait.
Yeah. But I also think that like listening to these frequencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we aren't used to picking up those frequencies, listening to them will, it's like any other kind of skill or talent. You have to do it over and over again because
Yeah.
maybe you didn't, um, I'm trying to think of an example on how to say this, but it's like not being able to, it's looking at an I Spy book, right? Eventually you're going to get real good at it
Oh, I see.
or real good at picking up
Yeah.
patterns.
You're flexing the muscle.
Right. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's something that you're just going to be able to naturally do. I know that
Yeah.
this is like with like
Like
people who do
meditation.
ultrasounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
like people who do ultrasounds, right? If you're used
Mm.
to seeing certain things all the time, you're going to be able to pick it out if it's different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
It's a
to
skill.
listening to this is like training your brain to be able to pick up that frequency when it happens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're going to be like, "Oh, that's what it is. I see that."
Yeah. And your body's gonna over time eventually like learn to mimic that frequency and
Hmm.
absorb it and match it, and all your cells, as long as it's happening out loud, like all your cells will be affected. Like
Yeah,
just quite a few
programming your
here.
brain to naturally pick it up and use it without you
Mhm.
having to like consciously think about it.
Yeah. So if you're needing help like getting started somewhere and you want to like if this the idea of sound healing appeals to you in any kind of way, like I would recommend starting with like solfeggio frequencies, going on YouTube, searching solfeggio frequencies. I'll quickly like list off what they all are for if you guys want to like write any of these down, or I can put it in our description at the end as well so you can go have a peek. Or crystal sound baths, like a yoga studio near me has done crystal sound bath meditation. So you go in and you get cozy and you lay on the floor with like all your pillows and blankies and a little like eye mats coverage. And they just sit there and like do all these crystal bowls and like a crystal like harp thing and Tibetan bowls to ground you at the end. And it's like if you have any kind of attunement to like astral traveling, which is like your soul travels around the universe while you're resting, or if you just need to like get out of your head, it's a really great way to force you to relax, and you don't have to think about meditating or like think about your thoughts. You can just Like you're almost having a nap almost. It's really quite remarkable. It's very healing.
I have actually yet to do a crystal sound bath.
Oh, you gotta do it. It's so nice. I would go every week if they had them. Yeah, if it worked out time-wise, I would go. Super cool. I think they have them on TikTok lives too. So like that'd be, you could just like look up crystal sound bath, like they have lives where they do it and you can just like go lay down and listen to it.
Pop in some headphones.
I'll send you one if I find it. Yeah, like
Okay,
next time. But
yes,
that's really
absolutely.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So like each bowl has its own frequency as well. So I'm sure like that has a similar effect to the solfeggio frequencies. So a couple of these frequencies. So 174 hertz is for relieving physical and energetic pain and to gain a sense of safety and security. So that's a really good one if you're struggling with like anxiety and like physical ailments, and if you just don't feel safe day to day, like if you're feeling like fight or flight mode a lot, or just in general, like if you're not in a very safe area, this would be a really good one to try to bring healing to that. So 174 hertz. Uh, 285 hertz is regeneration of the body. So that would be like that next level. Once you're no longer feeling that pain, you can then listen to 285 hertz, where you're actually trying to heal the body and regenerate the cells and then gain a sense of wellness and optimism. So you're looking at how can I just feel content, whole, and potentially optimistic instead of pessimistic, right? 396 hertz is releasing fear, guilt, and shame. And if you like catch these numbers coming across on a clock or something, or you just see a stream of numbers and you're like, I wonder, you might want to like look up and see if there's a hertz that matches it, because it might be a sign from spirit for you to like go listen to that. Like one of my oracle decks has the frequencies on some of the cards, and like if I pull out that card for her, for a client, like I'm telling her like you need to listen to this frequency. This is a sign. Yeah. So 396 is release fear, guilt, shame, increases feelings of being safe, grounded, and connected. And then again, so 417, I already mentioned 417 and 528. And then 639 hertz is create harmony in relationships and boost communication. So if that's something you really are like trying to be better in love or be better at communicating with your loved ones, with your partner, you could listen to 639 hertz. You could play it on your phone at night out loud in your bedroom for both of you to benefit from. And you might notice a significant difference moving forward just from listening to it.
Or do like meditation together because that's
Yeah,
cute.
that is cute. So 639 hertz meditation for love.
It's a couple's medication or medication. I mean,
Yeah, a couple's meditation.
I said
Medication? Is that what you said?
medication.
Oh,
I
well, I
mean,
guess. I mean,
I
sort of.
mean,
Yeah.
if the medicine fits.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then the last one is 741 hertz. So powerful, clear, and creative personal expression. So when you're ready to really start breaking down the walls of, or like the mask of what you have put out to the world, and you want to just be your true self, and you want to like release the fear of doing that, you could be ready to do 741 hertz, like powerful, clear, and creative personal expression. Let it out.
Be you.
Be you.
Be weird, be free.
The universe needs each and every one of you. You're all important. Everyone would feel the lack of you if you were no longer here. So please don't hold back. Life's too short. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The motto that's been going over and over for me, and I've noticed it's a theme with a lot of people who have been coming to me for readings,
Yeah.
is it's a quote by Dr. Seuss, and I am constantly telling people this, but it's something that I live by, right? Like it's something that I remind myself of this every day. So it's those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's powerful.
it is. Like if you really break it down, like that is really, so that's something that has helped me, right? Like, okay,
Like
I'm not
healthy
tooting my own horn.
boundaries.
Yeah, I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, but people come to me often and they're like, wow, you're so like free. You just do whatever you want. You just, you're authentically you. And it's like, yeah, because I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Like,
And why
if you're
should you?
gonna look at me sideways because I'm doing something weird, I'm sorry that you want to be boring. Like you're not there yet. Like you're embarrassed for me because you are embarrassed that somebody would like look at you like you're looking at me, if that
And
makes
what
sense.
and what does it matter? Like what actually happens if you do the thing and someone looks at you weird? What is the
It
worst that can
doesn't.
happen?
My enjoyment because I will
Yeah, it's
purposely
like
do shit for people to look
let's,
at me like that
let's truly
because
break that down.
it's like I call them social experiments. It's like you do weird shit to throw people off.
Yeah.
It's my way of like snapping you back into your body. Like what like
Hmm.
of course nobody's gonna really understand the implications of that. Like you're snapping like, what the hell is that? That's weird.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like planting a seed there,
Hmm.
right? Like it's gonna, I don't know. That's my I like chaos. I'm a chaos goblin. I like to throw people off.
Well,
And
it could be life-changing for someone if you decide not to hold back. Imagine if your ultimate
yeah,
freedom gives someone else freedom too.
right. And it
How
ha like
fucking amazing.
so I get like, oh, I might start crying. God.
I know I can feel it. Like, whoa, what's
So I
happening?
get I get people on my TikToks that will message me and say, I admire your bravery. Being you makes me feel like I can be me.
No, that's the goal.
And I know, God damn it, I'm crying.
Yeah. That's like the
But
most
it's
amazing thing you can do.
and like up until, I started doing TikTok, right? Like I didn't know that's what I was doing. How
Yeah.
many other people out there felt like that because I was just being weird little me, right? Like
So,
how many people have I touched?
yeah.
It's the bigger picture.
Hmm.
It's the it shows the importance of being authentic,
Yeah.
authentic to yourself and showing the world who you are as you are. Because yeah, sometimes I'm an asshole, sometimes I'm mean, like sometimes I
Yeah.
rage, but like I don't hide that. I don't hide that. And that makes me
No.
authentic. And
Yeah.
me being weird helps people feel comfortable in aligning with themselves to
Yeah.
show that to other people.
I'm trying to be like, I'm not perfect, but I'm okay showing you how not perfect I am so that you can feel more comfortable in your skin too.
Right.
And some people might be triggered, but that's their learning
Some
little
people have
like
definitely
poker.
been triggered.
Well, that's the thing is
I'm a
like they want that for themselves. They're envious. They're like, how come you get to just like do whatever you want? That's because I chose to.
Yeah. I because I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if anybody looks at me sideways. Like my wardrobe is like literally the most unhinged like collection of clothes. Like I don't care.
Hmm.
It brings me joy,
Yep.
so I like it. I'm seeking joy. That's what I'm doing in my life. I'm
Hmm.
seeking joy. Is it fun? Does it sound like fun? Does it sound like it's a cool experience? Yeah, joy.
Yeah. Find the
Having
joy.
joy
Mm.
in it. So, um, yeah,
And that's how you keep raising your vibration.
yeah,
Is
that's how
by
you
like
keep.
what things bring you happiness? Why do you find it hard to make those things a priority? Whose voice in your head is it that's like you shouldn't, couldn't, blah 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 blah, like all the negative things that are happening in your head that are telling you you can't do something? Why not?
Yeah, I hate it. When somebody tells me I can't do something, it
Mm.
makes me want to do it like 90 times
Oh, it
and
tells you
record
you
it.
can't.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oops, that's
why? Why can't
motivation.
I? Why wouldn't that work? Why is that
Watch
not?
me.
Yeah, I know. I was like, watch me send you a smug little picture while doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, back to your frequencies. Now I've
I know.
derailed that.
I like was done. That's pretty much the end of them. There's I don't know, is it 9?
Yeah. So 9.
There's 7? 7. I can't. I think
Okay.
there's 7. They probably match all the chakras if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I'm gonna put it in the description of this episode so that if you don't want to have to write down what I just said earlier, you can go quickly get a look of like, okay, what are the frequencies good for what? And then you can look up your own. I might even put some links to the ones I listen to because I love the ones I listen to. Yeah.
Yeah. The one last one. So the numbers 3, 6, and 9. Your homework is to look up why those are significant. And then we will be back for our next episode where we will be talking about aliens, my favorite topic.
Aliens.
We want you to just go into this with an open mind. We want to make this lighthearted and fun. We are
Yeah.
not putting on our tinfoil hats. We're not going to dive into conspiracies. We're just simply talking about the possibility. I mean, let's be real. It's
Well,
more than a possibility. But
I
okay,
mean, there's like been press releases and meetings with Congress. Like, there's things. We're going to be talking about some real things that
some
if you
real
haven't
things.
watched these press releases and things, like, you need to go watch them. We're going to probably put links and we're going to talk all about what has already been pretty well proven and
Yes.
what it really means in the more spiritual aspect of things, not just the fear mongering that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
So join us on our next episode about
Yeah.
aliens.
Aliens.
Because
Yes.
aliens.
Because aliens. And soon to come, or maybe already, because we don't know if we have a Discord. Join our Discord. Check our links in our description for our community. Share it with your friends. Share our podcast with your friends so we can make the Discord happen if it hasn't yet. We'll see you next week. This has
Bye.
been Spirited Awkward.
Bye.
Bye.